Hello and good morning. This is Dr. Misra. I'm the Vice Chancellor Rishihood University. I would like to welcome you all to this cloud-based technical workshop that is being organized by Sbyte Technologies. More specifically, I would like to thank Professor Sridhar for making all the efforts to bring these kind of technical workshops and symposium online to us. We are facing difficult times, and obviously we need to keep ourselves engaged in academic pursuits, and this is one of those efforts that is being made to involve us in these kind of academic activities. Friends, we are today faced with a major public health problem. It's a problem that is existing worldwide. I also know well, and I'm sure that you also understand it, that this is going to change the way we have looked at the world. Everything that we can think of today is going to be done in a very different way. A number of things that exist today or existed before this problem may not exist anymore. Things that never existed may begin to show up. Our lifestyle, our way of dealing with people, our way of working, everything is going to change. And this is not only in the education sector. We all have been seeing how this public health issue is affecting the education system. Not just the higher education, but even preschool, primary, and senior secondary education also. We are trying to hold classes online with a lot of difficulty. And the reason for that is that the culture of online education never existed in India. And it was never allowed to grow and get promoted by the regulatory agencies. Fortunately, now the regulatory agencies are letting us do online education, not because they would have liked it, but because there is no other option for them either. So online education is going to evolve in India. And I hope that all of us, especially in the higher education segment, will look at blended learning as the model that we all should follow in the future, which we can start with lesser amount of blending, and then as our experience and the faculty get better trained in the technologies that will come, we can go to higher levels of blend. So I would say that online education is here to stay. The question is that how long will it take for us to get to that sophisticated level where we can really say that we are now imbibing online education in a very serious way. Besides education, I think industry is going to be affected very badly. At this point, everybody is just thinking, what's going to happen to the jobs? What is going to happen to students who are going to graduate? When I look at industry and I look at this public health issue and how it will have an impact on the industry, I look at three things. One, there are some types of industries or businesses that will not exist anymore. There are some that may come back in their original forms. And there will be some that are going to have a major boost because of this problem that we are faced. Those are new segments or segments that were not that big but are likely to become very large segments. And those segments are going to be, to a large extent, besides the one I'm saying, there may be other areas also. Cloud computing is something that is going to be a big one. Digital payments, hospitals, medical equipment, diagnostic, pharma, medical tourism, areas like cyber security, e-commerce, both business to customer and business to business. We will see a large growth in the area of online education, insurance, robotics, areas of logistics, business analytics, network automation, entrepreneurship. These are areas that are going to grow many fold. And I think it's important that we realize that these are segments that are going to grow and start preparing for it. What do these segments mean? They also mean that the rate at which these segments are going to grow will require a large number of employees. But the question is that, do we have enough number of new people who are going to get into this kind of a labor force? So we should be looking at the graduating students. So those students who are into computing, computer science, logistics, cybersecurity, e-commerce, insurance, they are going to have good opportunities once the economy begins to return back to its normal state. How much time will it take for the economy to bounce back? Well, that's a question that is not that easy to answer, because there are still a lot of uncertainties that exist. I think the best guess would be that for us to understand that the economy will not return back to a normal situation until we are able to find a cure. And that's not going to happen immediately. It may take some time. So let's take about a year's time for the economy to kick back. The reason I'm taking 1 year is not only because it will take some time for us to find the cure for this public health problem, but also for consumers or people who have to buy the goods and services to return back to their normal habits. Please remember that a couple of things have happened that have changed everything. First, we have realized as consumers that it does not take too much to live a decent life. Over the last 4-5 months, all of us have realized that we do not have to spend so much money to live a good life. What that means is that a lot of things that we buy are based on an impulsive purchase pattern. Those are things that we don't need. Those are things that are emerging from our desires. But they are not our needs. They don't fulfill a need. Therefore, for the economy to bounce back, the consumers have to get back to the normal pattern of impulsive purchases that they used to make. That's what is going to create the new demand that is going to be required to push the economy back into its original place. It will take time, but it will happen. There is no doubt in my mind that the economy will bounce back. Therefore, students who are going to be graduating, who have graduated this year or who are going to be graduating next year, you will have ample of opportunities, new opportunities. And it may be relevant for you to begin to look at these areas of opportunity that will come your way, as we move towards normal state. What are the other things that could happen that will change how we are going to live in the future? I think there's going to be a shift in international education. I think it's not going to be permanent, but it's going to be temporary for the next 1 or 2 years. The number of students who would be going abroad is going to be lower than what it has been in the previous years. But that is going to be driven by the fear factor. And as we find a cure for this kind of a virus, we will be beginning to see that things will begin to return to normal, and students will go for overseas destinations for their education. I think these are some of the things that are likely to happen in the future. We also are likely to see lesser travel, even among educational institutions. We will see that a lot of things that previously were done by making travel are going to become less frequent, and more virtual meetings will be done. I expect a lot of conferences, seminars, workshops to be conducted online rather than the way that it used to be done before. So we expect a lot of changes to happen, and I hope that we all will be able to adjust to these new realities of life, and we will, as teachers, come back to the same type of a thought process that we used to have to engage with students and teachers and the community to make a contribution towards nation building. I wish you all the best, and I wish all the participants and the paper presenters all the best. A number of good papers have been selected for this workshop, and I wish all paper presenters all the best, and enjoy yourself. Have a great